They sent a predator pack to hunt him. Hours later, they followed the human's tracks, Commander. Zexthel clicked his mandibles in satisfaction as he watched the 3 Vorth predators disappear into the crimson forest of Kepler 442b. Each beast stood nearly 4 meters tall with razor-sharp claws that could slice through titanium armor and sensory organs capable of tracking prey across continents. They were the apex predators of 12 different worlds, bred and enhanced for one purpose: hunting. The human had been running for 6 standard hours now. Fascinating specimen, Zexthel mused to his aide, Lieutenant Korth. When we captured it from that destroyed colony ship, the biometric scans showed nothing remarkable. Bipedal, no natural. Weapons, limited physical strength. Yet it somehow escaped from a maximum security containment unit. Korth's eye stalks swiveled nervously. Sir, perhaps we should have used the disintegration protocol instead of— Nonsense, Zexthel's voice boomed across the observation deck. The Galactic Council specifically requested a live specimen for study. This human represents an entire species that appeared from nowhere and began colonizing systems at an unprecedented rate. We need to understand what makes them so persistent. The first transmission crackled through their communicators 2 hours later. Command, this is Vorth Alpha. The synthesized voice carried an edge of confusion. We've lost the scent trail. Zexthel's primary eyes narrowed. Explain. The human's tracks lead to the Crimson Rapids. The scent terminates at the water's edge. No trace on the opposite bank for 20 kilometers in either direction. Impossible. Scan for heat signatures. Negative, Commander. The human has vanished. Lieutenant Korth shifted uncomfortably. Sir, perhaps it drowned? The rapids are quite treacherous. The Vorth can detect decomposing organic matter from vast distances, Zexthel interrupted. No, this human is alive. Continue the hunt. Hour 7 brought stranger reports. Command, Vorth Beta reporting. We've discovered crude tools fashioned from local materials. Sharpened stones, wooden spears, and what appears to be some kind of trap mechanism. Zexthel felt his secondary heart skip a beat. Traps? Affirmative, sir. Primitive but effective. 4th Gamma triggered a concealed pit. The human lined it with sharpened stakes. Gamma is wounded but operational. For the first time since the hunt began, Zexthel felt a chill run down his chitinous spine. In all their encounters with various species, none had ever injured a Vorth predator. These beasts had torn through armored divisions, survived orbital bombardments, and hunted sentient beings across half the galaxy. Maintain pursuit, he ordered, though his voice lacked its earlier confidence. Hour 9 changed everything. Command! The distress signal nearly shattered their audio receivers. Vorth Alpha is down. Repeat, Alpha is down. Report. Zexthel roared. The human, it used fire, sir. Created some kind of accelerant from native plants and it waited. Alpha walked into an ambush. The entire grove went up in flames. Korth's eye stalks retracted in horror. The human killed a Vorth? Negative, came the shaken reply. Alpha survived the flames, but, sir, the human was waiting when Alpha emerged. It had fashioned some kind of weapon from the surrounding materials. A spear with an explosive tip made from local minerals. Alpha is dead, sir. The observation deck fell silent except for the hum of life support systems. Status of remaining units? Zexthel's voice barely registered above a whisper. Beta and Gamma they're requesting permission to withdraw, sir. Denied. Continue the hunt. Sir, with respect, we're not hunting anymore. We're being hunted. Hour 12 brought the final transmission. Command, this is Vorth Beta. Final report. The artificial voice carried an emotion Zexthel had never heard from a Vorth before. Fear. We found Gamma's remains 3 kilometers from our last position. The human. It took Gamma's claws, sir, fashioned them into weapons, and the tracks are heading back toward your position. The line went dead. Zexthel stared at the tactical display, watching 2 red dots, representing his remaining predators, blink out of existence one after another. In the space of 12 hours, a single unarmed human had eliminated 3 of the galaxy's most feared hunters using nothing but primitive tools and the environment around him. "Sir," Korth whispered, his voice trembling. "What are we dealing with?" Zexthul activated the ship's long-range scanners, desperately searching for any sign of the human. What he found made his ichor run cold. A single heat signature moving with purpose through the forest, heading directly for their landing site. But that wasn't what terrified him. The human wasn't running anymore. It was walking. "Lieutenant," Zexthul said quietly, backing away from the observation window, "prepare the ship for immediate departure." "Sir, but the mission parameters are hereby terminated." Zexthul's hands shook as he activated the emergency beacon. "Send a message to the Galactic Council. Priority Alpha classification." "What should I tell them, sir?" Zexthul looked one last time at the scanner display, watching that single, inexorable heat signature approach their position. In the distance, he could see smoke rising from multiple locations across the forest, evidence of an intelligence that didn't just survive but adapted, learned, and turned the hunt into something else entirely. "Tell them," he said as the ship's engines roared to life, "that we found a species that doesn't just fight for survival. They reshape the very concept of what it means to be prey." As their ship lifted off, abandoning the mission and fleeing toward the safety of deep space, Zexthul caught one final glimpse of the forest below. Standing in the clearing where they had released the Vorth predators, a lone figure watched their escape. The human raised one hand in what their cultural database identified as a wave. Zexthul shuddered and ordered maximum burn toward the jump point. Behind them, the galaxy's newest apex predator continued his walk home.